Greetings guys, it's Brian from New Tech Cleaning Systems, and I'm here again with Joe Versulis from Phoenix Equipment. This is video 3. This is a 3-part series. Right out of the gate, if you have not watched part 1 and 2, I would encourage you to stop here, go back, watch video 1, watch part 2, then come to part 3. Part 3 is on the DrySense. So in part 1, we talked about the new electronic DryTAGs for monitoring equipment. In part 2, we talk about the big brother to this, which is the DryTAG RH. And then in this video, we're going to be talking about DrySense. Yep. So Joe, tell us about DrySense.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we talked about DryTAG and DryTAG RH. Really, we have an entire ecosystem. We don't just have dehumidifiers or air movers within our system. It's really an entire ecosystem. And so again, DryTAG RH, you're going to be able to get your air readings, psychometric readings in that sense. Now we have our penetrating moisture content meter, and that's called DrySense. The idea behind DrySense is you can put that into, again, a penetrating moisture meter, so you can put that into drywall, you could put that into a seal plate, a hardwood floor, framing, whatever the case may be. So if, say, you're at your 20% saturation on the wood, you'll be able to put those pins in, and it will show you as the moisture starts getting pulled from those materials, and you could potentially even get a notification when you've hit your dry standard.
And guys, just to be clear, for those of you that are kind of just jumping in here, this is all part of Phoenix's DryLink app system. And that system is so simple. It downloads to your phone. You can walk into a job, literally click a button, and boom, it's literally within seconds gives you all the data from every working piece of equipment: air movers, air scrubbers, heaters, and also dehumidifiers. The DrySense piece that we're talking about today ties all this together with actual structural drying readings. So these things can be, there's an adapter that can go onto stainless steel screws. So if you're doing a sill plate, if you're just pinning it into, say, a hardwood floor, or maybe some other drywall or other building materials, you'll be able to get real readings in verifiable data format, which all gets dumped into the file. Let's just call it the Miss Jones job. Everything's getting dumped into the Miss Jones job file. All of that verifiable data helps your estimators write their Xactimate bills. It helps with adjusters to understand what happened on the job so that you can bill correctly. Why did it take 4 days instead of 3? Oh, Miss Jones was unplugging the equipment, and that forced it to take longer to dry, right? So you have some verifiable data that you can share with property owners. Please don't unplug the equipment, and here's why. Or Mr. Adjuster or Mrs. Adjuster, this is why this has happened. It gives us verifiable data in a report via this simple app for your phone. So this is kind of like when you think about what you were paying your techs to go in and do monitoring. They might be on a job, they got to wait for this to acclimate, and then they got to take the air in and the air out, and this and that, and through each chamber of the job if it's a larger loss. You think about the time that's absorbed in payroll into this, when these are just a few bucks and they're very inexpensive. And I think the DrySense, this piece of it is $99. Yeah. So when you think about how fast in payroll that thing pays for itself, and gives you verifiable data for invoicing and financial collections and stuff like that. Just that alone, it just gives you the data that's verifiable, which is very, very important. We did do a disclaimer in the other 2 videos. Right now, that DrySense is $99. If you're watching this video a year from now and it's $110, it is what it is. There is going to be price increases over time. I don't want anyone calling me saying, hey, you told me it was $99. It's $99 now currently. We don't see any price increases right away, but you never know. There could be one in January or March or whatever. So very important for that. But I think this really ties the whole system together. And if you watch video 1, 2, and 3, very quickly, you're going to see the value. I always talk about value on the job site. It's going to make our technicians better. It's going to save us a lot of wasted PPE money, wasted suits and crawling into attics and crawl spaces. You won't have to do that as often. Just the savings alone are just a lot. I mean, it adds up to be a lot of money. So
yeah, it really is. And we always talk about it. It really is a complete ecosystem. And we've created this system to make restores jobs easier, be able to get on and off the job quicker, get your bills paid quicker, you know, your rental, everything needs to be quicker for you. And with today, and we've talked about it, right? With today, it's hard to find employment and get people employed to be able to go get your psychometric readings. This speeds up that process so quickly. It's just going to be a game changer for restorers.
I mentioned to Joe in between the videos, I said, Joe, you know, when we used to do the work many years ago, you know, one of the challenges we had were losing employees, and we were losing them because they weren't getting home till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and their wives were mad, and their husbands were mad, and, you know, it was frustrating. I saw this system immediately as something where they could get to those same 4 or 5 jobs in a day, and they'd be home for dinner. I mean, they're going to save 2-3 hours a day minimum
Easily.
just in monitoring.
Easily.
And so there's payroll savings to the company that adds up very quickly, but there's also that employee time where they can actually get home at a reasonable hour to their family. To me, that's value that's not calculated necessarily in just dollars. So I think that might make it a little easier to hold on to some of these employees that get frustrated from working day and night. So,
absolutely. Happy employees that get home earlier. Also, like you talked about, you're not having to go into a crawl space every single time you need to get readings. You don't have to get up on that PPE. You're saving on PPE, but I'm guessing some technicians are probably drawing straws on who has to go down into the crawl space. Now they don't have to go in there nearly as much.
right. So with that being said, guys, there's going to be a lot of new information. We're actually going to be teaching a lot of these new technologies in our WRT and our commercial drying courses, which you can find on our website at www.shopnewtech.com. And if you have any questions at all, you can call on any questions anytime, 248-548-5211. And we appreciate you taking the time to watch and learn about these new technologies. There's some really good things coming, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.